Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, actually. Yeah. Today, we are going to talk about breaking CI/CD bottlenecks. My name is Ashraf, and I am senior Android engineer at HelloFresh. And I actually enjoy cooking. So if you are interested in any new recipe and you want to try it with me, so feel free to reach me. Actually, also, I really enjoy debugging my production incidents because my fresh code that I already push it to the production. So if you're interested anytime to contact me for those things, I will be so happy. Okay, this is our table for today. We are going to talk about CI/CD bottlenecks. After that, we are going to mention how we are going to solve them. Then we are going to try to hack our solution. As you know, we are almost most of us are nerds, so we love to hack our solutions to be more secure. And then we are going to secure it more. After that, we will discuss some conclusions and we will be ready for any questions from your side. Okay, CI/CD bottlenecks. Every time I join a company, specifically when we start to moving to increasing our team size, every time I have those two must things that I have, the time of the CI/CD, and after this time keep increasing by adding more checks and increasing our code, ending up that is a foundation team or the infrastructure team coming and mentioning to us, hello, why you are don't respect our costs and we need to cut our budgets and those kind of stuff. Yeah, tough times what we having those days. So instead of this waiting time, because it's not only that the CI/CD specifically in Android for building our application and running Gradle, we had a really good talks about Gradle, how to make our Gradle tasks more faster and caching mechanisms for the Gradle, which is really great. But still, the execution time is not only the time that actually we facing during we having the CI/CD. We also having the waiting time. As with every engineer joining, we don't actually allocate a new instance for in our CI/CD resources for that engineers. We just join the queue and wait till our jobs started to running or the PR checks started to running, and nothing we can do for that. You have to wait. Another thing actually for the credits that are flying, a lot of times specifically for the new joiners, they actually doesn't know exactly what is the rules that we applying, maybe for formatting the code, some minor checks, and a lot of other things actually, which needs to run the BR check. For example, if we're talking about the BR checks in our daily activities or daily tasks, which is ending up every time that we losing our credits so fast and we ending up that we consumed our budget and we don't know what to do, and there is pending BRs need to run. So not every time actually that we can upgrade our plan. You know, our managers doesn't provide this for us every time. We need to find another thing to handle this issue. Sometimes it ending up that we go to another cheaper provider or cheaper company for the CI/CD tools, or so little times that okay, we will increase it a little bit, but we are not going to increase it that much. We will just increase your our budget with 10%, which enable you maybe changing your CPUs to be more powerful or something like that. But we will not talk about those solutions today. We are going to think a little bit out of the box for any hacks that can help us. Our solution actually is going to be less is more. This principle actually is really great a lot of times actually when we having any solution, we started to think, okay, let's try to do something more complex, or let's enhancing this algorithm by adding more steps or caching or all of those things. But we are not going to think about this today. We are going to think about the most resource that's going to increase with any newcomer come to the team. Every newcomer actually join with a really good laptop. The company provide a very good laptop, maybe M1, M3, M4 if you are lucky and your company actually started to focus more on the resources. But if you don't have one of these, hopefully you are going to have one soon. So these local devices actually that we have, why we don't use them to make those checks and offload some of the checks that we're running every time on the remote to be on my local machine. This one actually, or this pattern actually will help us a lot because this is my machine. I can run my jobs immediately. I can do whatever I want immediately. I will not have to wait a lot of time that I need my other engineers to finish their jobs or anything like that. No, it's my local machine. So for our strategy or our implementation for this solution, we are going to do somehow a clone or a partial clone from our BR checks or in our workflows that we are going to run in our local machines. So instead of having only the remote BR check on the left, we are going actually to create our local PR check. This example actually contains only 4 simple steps that we build our application. After that, we are running our our unit tests, then the UI tests. Then we are releasing a build, maybe to through Firebase or any other tools to be available for testing purpose or anything else. So if we start to think about those steps, we are going to see we have the first 3 steps can run locally. What actually prevent us from doing that? So we are going to make a small partial local PR check workflow, which is going actually to run with maybe every hour push, every hour commit, to actually making sure those the 3 steps are running fine with my current code. And when we go remote, we can skip those checks because we already did. But the main point here, how can actually we automate those local checks? As it, we actually don't like to, after I make the code, I commit, then after that I have to go to run specific checks or running running my unit test by my hand, running UI tests by my hand, and making sure the application is building fine. So why I have to do this with my hand every time? So it will be time consuming. So to automate that, actually in our local checks, Git hooks is one of the best things actually that can simulate the same GitHub or any or GitLab hooks that we having when the PR open, when the PR merged to run specific things. We can have also these Git hooks in our local Git. So we are going to use only 2 of them in this example. We are going to use the pre-commit, and for this pre-commit actually we are going to run our local PR check or our local flow that's going to be executed in our local. And after it running successfully and everything is fine, we are going to make the post commit to also tag or stamp our branch or our last commit that everything is working fine for those steps that we already run. So the remote actually resource can skip running of them again and again. So this is actually what we are going to have it. Inside our pre-commit file of the Git hook, we are going to use CLI of Bitrise, which can run in local. So we just install it with very simple commands. And after that, it's going to run immediately to, we can run any workflow inside our local machine so easily. If you don't use Bitrise and you don't have, and the other tool doesn't provide another CLI, so actually we can convert those scripts to run in Gradle tasks, or we can run them actually through any scripts through our command lines. It's very easy to do this. And after that, after we running Bitrise local BR checked with our, which is currently our workflow, we are, if everything is running fine, so we are going to tag our last commit inside this branch. For example, local BR check dashed the timestamp to have a unique tag for every time. So, and for the and after that, after we push the code and everything is working fine, so we are going to add one step, which for our remote workflow to extract the last tag attached to the head of the commit in this branch. After that, we are going to executing the same steps again, but we are going actually to add one more step, that this is the step of the extracting the get tag from our commit and to save it in a variable, because we are going to depend in this variable with for every step that we already run in our local machines. So we are going to check, is this step already checked in the local machine? And we, to make this validation, we are going to making sure that our tag is starting with local PR checked. So this means actually I know this build already got run inside the local machine, so we can skip it and move to the next step. And so on for the other ones, for the run unit tests, for run UI tests, and everyone like this. We can actually move, skip them and go to the last step for release our build. With this solution, actually, we solved most of our issues that we are talking about. I think we reduced our waiting time with a very big percent, maybe 90%, if you actually went to go to get a coffee or something like that. So your waiting time actually can be reduced up to 90% because no one using your local machine with you. You are the only one who using it. And also it will not block your Android Studio that you are running a build, because all of that actually running from the from our terminal or from the GitHub, which you are going to start this command. So your computer is yours. You can actually continue developing anything during this build is running. For actually the time of the CI/CD, I'm pretty sure for any of our workflows that we keep running every day, every time we can extract maybe 50% of this workflow to run in our local machines and skip this in the remote resources. And of course, if we reduce the time by 50%, our costs also are going to be decreased by 50%. So it's not an easy time actually for most of the companies that I worked with. Most of those companies spending maybe thousands and hundreds of thousands for the CI/CD every year, and it's very big money. So it will be a really good trick to invest in that and extracting our local workflows instead of making all of them running on the remote. Okay, now I saw some of my colleagues. They are a little bit lazy and they doesn't want actually to making the checks again and again. So one of them actually tried to just adding one command before he push. He just add get local BR checked and added any timestamp. That's it. Stamp it. Go and skip and don't wait for those traffic lights that actually I don't need actually to do them anymore. So what we are going to do, uh, we are going actually to make him need to add more steps for this stamp. At least how he can hack it at the end, of course, because all of us, we are having this script and knows exactly how this script works and the tags are going to be extracted from every step. But at the end, it will be a lot of effort for anyone who wants to hack. I think he will get and see. Let me adding this get hawk that adding the checks, and I will not hack it because it takes a lot of time for me to do this manually to hack it. So let's try to secure our solution, but by adding a lot of obstacles or some obstacles for our solution to make our engineer respect our solution a little bit and don't hack it. So one of those things actually that we are going depending on any artifacts that going to be generated from any step. So for example, we have the build. So this build actually, we can, depending on the APK that is generated, to create a hash from this APK. And adding to this hash actually the timestamp or when this file is created. And we can use any MD5 or SHA for creating this hash for any file that we already generated with each step. Another thing, actually, we can attach to making sure that this engineer didn't get any any old stamps or any old tags and he added it. So we are going to use in our stamp or our tag that we are going to use the last commit hash. So in this time we have a unique hash for every commit and making sure that this tag is related to this commit, not any other commits. Uh, what else we are going to do? That we are going to, of course, validate that this stamp is not used before. And to do this, actually, we can save our stamps in any file. And when we go to the remote, we can check actually this stamp actually didn't got used in any old commits or any old checks through the PR. And after that, we adding more step in our CI/CD or remote CI/CD workflow to insert this new stamp in this file that we keep checking that no one actually used any old stamp and he started to hacking our solution. So the conclusion from our speak today that we always try always find a solution which is less complexity and make it much easier. So simple is more. There is no need actually every time to have very complex things and very huge algorithms to solve your solution. A lot of time your solution is so easy, but it's hard to get this easy idea to implement it. And of course, don't reinvent the wheel. If you have any tool which is already implemented in your company in open source, try to use it and build after it. Every time actually that we need to implement any new solution, let's make this and make this and make this caching algorithm. Why? We can actually continue from the other people ended. So this is our talk for today. Thank you so much. And this is my LinkedIn. If you have any questions, you can reach out me in any time.